Marathon talks between Greece and its European creditors ended with a new bailout agreement early Monday, which was called agreement, hours after negotiators in Brussels blew through a self-imposed deadline. Eurozone leaders argued through the night. The breakthrough finally came after 15 hours, and the agreement was unanimous.
We achieved this despite the recent loss of the most valuable currency, namely trust in each other.
French President François Hollande hails a deal with Greece to negotiate a third bailout to keep the near-bankrupt country in the Eurozone as historic.
Today was a long negotiation and above all a historic decision, because if Greece had left the Eurozone, what would have been said? That the Eurozone wasn't able to ensure its integrity and solidarity? What would have been said of the Greeks? That they were not able to take their own responsibilities? What would have been said of France and Germany, who have the vocation to give an impulse? That we were not at the meeting? The Eurozone would have gone backwards, whereas Europe needs to go forward to carry a project that protects people because the Euro protects.
The conditions posed by Greece's international lenders are so tough they could bring down the Greek government. Alexis Tsipras had to finally accept a compromise on German-led demands for the sequestration of Greek assets. They'll be sold off to pay down debt. And he had to drop his resistance to the involvement of the International Monetary Fund in a proposed €86 billion bailout. He will also have to rush swathes of legislation through Parliament by Wednesday before his 18 partners will release vital bridging funds. They include spending cut, tax hikes and pension reforms, previous red lines for Tsipras. And all of it just to begin negotiations on a new 3-year loan. He wanted an honest compromise, instead he was humiliated, something last weekend's referendum was meant to prevent.
We fought hard for 6 months and battled to get an agreement to get the country back on its feet. We were faced with a very difficult decision and hard dilemmas. We made a responsible decision in order to avert the most extreme plans by conservative circles in the European Union.
Greeks expressed mixed emotions as Eurozone leaders announced a deal to start negotiating a new bailout program, averting the country's exit from the European Monetary Union. If the summit had failed, Greece would be facing bankruptcy and a likely exit from the euro. Its banks have been closed for 2 weeks and limiting cash withdrawals. One of the EU officials calculated the cost of the past 2 weeks at between 25 and 30 billion euros. That is almost a third of the new loan Greece is now seeking. On the other side, European markets gave a weary cheer to the news. The FTSE Euro First 300 opened up 1.3% to hit a 2-week high. Italian, Spanish and Portuguese bonds rallied in debt markets, and the euro rose initially before dropping back. The deal has been welcomed by every country across the globe. Equity markets in Asia and Europe rallied after the European Union agreed on a bailout package for Greece subject to conditions. India too rode the wave, with the 30-share Sensex closing at 27,961.19, up by 300 points over its previous close. The Nifty closed at 8,459.65, up by almost 100 points over its previous close. With agency inputs, Venkatraman's report, DD News.